Alright, so this is a video on the basic 5 rules that we have for playing Fanwar. With these 5 rules you can do the Battle League, and then we build on them to play all the other leagues. So that's really all you need to play the game at its core. There's a lot more of like skills and abilities in the game, but with these 5 you can play the game from the beginning. So the first thing you need to know is that the game is basically freeze tag. When you tag somebody, they're frozen, but instead of freezing like in a frozen shape like you have a freeze tag, you actually drop to one knee and then you become wounded like this. To do that, you tag somebody, usually with a weapon, anywhere on the body. Usually there's certain places you can't tag people, like the head, because you have squishy little things in your face called eyes, which you don't want to get damaged. We all like our eyes. And you have a brain inside of your head, which you really want to keep in good condition. So Spencer, if you want to come in, I'll show this little part here. So to tag somebody, it doesn't take any amount of force. It's not like about how hard you hit anybody in Fanwar. It's really just about whether you make contact with them. We do have rules that you're not supposed to just make a little tiny motion. It's supposed to be a full motion of your arm, so it seems realistic. But you don't have to. There's no reason to hit anybody hard like that, especially when you get back up. So that's being wounded. Now, when you're wounded, you're not always necessarily safe. It's not like you're just wounded and then that's all that's going to happen to you. If Spencer gets wounded, bam, he's wounded. He can actually take more damage while he's down there, while he's wounded. If he happens to get hit again, he'll say -1, the number that he's at. And whenever if you hit -4, it's when you would die. So he just said that he's at -1, which means he's starting to die. When he was down, he was at 0. So if I hit him again,
-2,
then hit him again,
-3,
and hit him again,
-4,
and then he would be dead. At that point, someone can't, get him back up in the normal ways, which would be first aid. They've got to get him resurrected, take him for life, maybe skilled, or that sort of thing. So it's very hard to get back in the game once you're dead. All right, thanks, Spencer. That's good. All right, so the next thing in the game is first aid. You saw how to wound somebody, but you don't necessarily know how to heal somebody. So, Claire, if you want to come in for this. When you get wounded, if I want to heal somebody, suppose somebody comes along and they stab Claire, she gets wounded, and maybe I'm her ally, and I've just noticed that she's gotten wounded, and I want to heal her. Well, this is like unfreezing in the game. If you want to unfreeze somebody, you tag them usually on the shoulder with 2 hands, and you say first aid, so they know what you're doing, and then you count to 20. Usually the slow count. First aid: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And then Claire's up again, she can fight again, just as if she had never gone down. So that can happen all day. Stabbed, and then first aid, and then stab, first aid, all day long, so you can get healed that way. Now, when you're down, if Claire's down, she can't really do anything while she's down. She can't, call for help and say, help me, Chris, first aid me," because she's supposed to be unconscious. She can't say, "Look out, someone's about to stab you, Chris," because she's unconscious. She has to just be wounded there. So I'm really the one who has to notice that she's wounded. One thing she can do while she's wounded, though, is she can moan and groan, which is make a little bit of noise. Which is like to tell me, like, oh, I think I hear somebody over here who's hurt. I should go heal her, and I can heal her. Of course, your enemies might hear that too. So if you're going to moan and groan in the game, they might notice that you're, oh, someone's alive over here, and then they might kill you. So it's a risk you have to take in the game. So but sometimes I don't have time to really heal her. So for example, if Mitchell, you want to come in for this, if she's wounded and Mitchell's come along, we can try to heal her both as a team, and we can go a lot faster. So if we both start healing her, so we go first aid, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Takes half the time and should be back up into the battle. Now that's not necessarily always the smartest thing to do. Mitchell, if you want to come in again here and Claire, come this way a little bit. Sometimes, since Claire's wounded, it's actually smarter to protect the person who's down and not just both heal them. Because if Mitchell and I both start healing, we might run into a problem of both getting attacked. So if Mitchell starts healing her, another option I have is to guard and keep people from interfering, and that's another good strategy. And then she would be back up. Now, if Mitchell already starts and I notice no one's going to attack, so I'm wounded again, and then Mitchell starts healing, and I notice no one's attacking, I can join him, but we've got to start over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's a little bit faster than if I'd waited for him to finish, but we just have to start right over. So thank you guys. And Mitchell, you can stay. I'm going to show you the next part. So the next thing that you need to know about is called carrying. That's the 3rd rule. Carrying is you want to move somebody around. Now in the game, I could try to move Mitchell, but probably throw out my back and get hurt. So I'm not going to really do that. In the game, we don't want to be like hauling people around. We want to pretend to be moving people around. So if Mitchell was wounded, and I want to move him, I don't actually try to physically move him. I usually tag him when I say carrying, and then he just stands up and moves around. Now, in the game we have different sizes though, so you can go back down again. In the game, usually we're all, humans most often, and humans are size 3. That means that if he's a human too, I can move him, he can move me, but that's not always the case. And sometimes in the game you'll have hobbits, and they're only size 1, and they can't carry as much. Or you might have dwarves, and they're only size 2, and they can't carry as much either. So usually I have to say my size when I try to carry him, so he knows if I'm strong enough to move him. So I say, carrying, size 3. He says, okay, that's fine, and he can get up then. He'll get up if I have enough size. He'll get up like that, and then I can move him around, and wherever I take him, he just has to go with me, and I can lead him around. I can take him back over here. Oh, you're probably going to be safe over here, and I'll drop him down there, right? And then I can guard him, wait for my friends to come and heal him, right? Fight off some people right here, and then once it's finally safe, I can try to heal him. Right? So that's how carrying works. And I can only walk when I carry somebody, because he's heavy. If you really try to run with somebody, you're probably going to get hurt. But if I need some more help, Claire, can I get you back in here? We can move somebody. If we have 2 people, we can actually run. So if he's wounded there, and we're going to move him, we can actually just say, carrying size 3, and then we can just run with him across, and we be gone. Off you guys go. Thanks. All right, so that's carrying. It should be important to note that you can carry your enemies. You don't just have to carry your friends. If you wound an enemy, you can grab them, carry them away, and keep them from getting healed. All right, so that was the 3rd rule, carrying. The 4th rule is knockout. It's actually an ability that everybody can do. It's kind of like a non-damaging type of attack, and it's very useful for certain situations. And so I'm going to show you that one. Allison, if you want to come in, I'll show knockout here. So a knockout's a kind of an attack that uses the squishy bottom of your weapon. So you always have to make sure before you use it that your weapon has a nice squishy bottom to it. And if it does, you can knock out with it. Now knockout is supposed to be in the game where, like, if you imagine hitting somebody over the head with a frying pan and they pass out, like in a movie or something, that's what a knockout is. But remember I said you can't hit people in the head because they have these lovely eyes in their faces, which we don't want to get smashed, and their brains don't want to get bashed around. It generally doesn't do really well when you bash your brain around. So I don't want to hit Allison in the head. And you might think, well, I'll just be really careful and I'll hit her like this. It doesn't work because she'll hear me sneaking up, like turn her head, and she'll get hit in the face. Face is never a good place to get hit. Playing the game a long time, you don't get hit in the face. So what I do instead is I tag her between the shoulder blades right there, and I say knockout. And I say knockout so that she knows what I'm doing. Because what I mean when I say knockout is I'm hitting you in the head. She's like, oh, okay, hit me in the head, and then she'll pass out, just like if I hit her over the head with a frying pan. They might say, why would I do that? Like, Allison, you can get on up. I could have just like poked her. Like, well, why go to all the trouble of like sneaking around behind her and then knocking her out? Well, there's a couple of reasons. One reason is if she's an ogre. So Allison, if you want to be an ogre here for a second. Ogres are big, strong, not necessarily the smartest, and but they have 5 hits. So that means that it takes 5 hits for me to take her down. If I just try to poke her, like, she's just gonna go. Yeah, and she's gonna stab me because I only did 1 damage to her, and then she'll kill me. But if I was fortunate enough to find her like not looking the right way, and she was like this, if I poke her, she's gonna kill me. So what I do instead is I go knockout, and then she just drops. That's all 5 of her hits down in 1 hit. So that's the one reason to use knockout. The other reason to use knockout is body armor. Body armor covers certain areas of your body, and if you get hit there, you're protected. So if I was wearing, for example, full plate mail, the only place you can get me is right here in my middle like this. So in that case, knockout's a great way to bypass all that armor by tagging somebody in the knockout zone like that. All right, thanks, Allison. You can come out. A few other reasons to use knockout is it's sneaky. It doesn't leave really any marks in the game. So if you're kind of a sneaky thief-like character and you're trying to make sure that you don't get caught doing something, knockout's a great way to use that. So the last rule you need to know, the 5th rule, is called fumble. So Kim, if you want to come in, we'll do fumble. Fumble's kind of a safety rule, and it's probably the most important rule in the game. So I always save it for last because if you don't know how to do fumble, then you can't play the game at all. You'll be asked to sit out. So Kim, if you want to come on this side, closer. So fumble's a rule that has to do with if something hurts. So in the game, remember I said you don't have to hit anybody hard. You just tag them and they're down. It doesn't matter how hard I hit somebody. What matters is how much my arm moves, which means it's a full swing. That means it's a hit. But it doesn't matter that I hit her with a certain amount of like force. I don't get like more points or something if I do that. In fact, I get the opposite. If I hit Kim too hard, and I'm going to pretend that I'm going to hit her hard here, like and it hurts, I'm like, oh, whack, ow, like, ow. Then she's allowed to call a fumble on me, and then I have to become wounded. But what we imagine is that I actually missed her because I was out of control with my attack. My own sword comes back and hits me in the arm, and now I'm lying here with my own arm stuck in me, wounded. So usually when a fumble happens, it's really important to say to the person, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
So she's rubbing her arm. She's gonna be all right. She'll probably, say, "Please don't hit me so hard," or just be more careful. And then she'll go back into the battle and be fine. And once she does, someone can come and heal me. But I don't get to just pop right back up, because if I did that, then I wouldn't be realistic. Like, I did miss her and hit myself. How come I'm just suddenly magically healed, right? So I have to wait for someone to come and heal me. Now, if Kim needs a minute, like she's rubbing her arm, she might need a minute before she wants to get back in the battle. So she'll put her fist over her head like this, which says, "I'm not playing right now." This means out of game. So whenever she does that, that means she's not playing. That's so that a whole bunch of people don't rush and attack her because they see her not fighting, because I fumbled her. It's one of the most annoying things, to have a whole bunch of people rush you as soon as somebody fumbles you. So she'll put her fist over her head, and as long as she keeps that fist up, I can't be healed. I have to just sit here and wait. And if someone comes to first aid me, I'll say, "Sorry, I can't be first aided. Kim is fumbled, and I have to wait till she's playing again." And if she doesn't want to play the whole rest of this battle, then I don't play the whole rest of the battle. And if she doesn't want to play the whole rest of the mission that we're on, I don't play the whole rest of the mission that we're on. If she doesn't want to play the whole rest of the day, then I don't play the whole rest of the day. Now, that hardly ever happens. I mean, I don't think I've ever really had that happen. But that's because everybody knows it's a rule. Because they know that if they hurt somebody like that they'd be sitting out with the person they hurt all day long, they're much more careful in the game. And so it's a really good system for that. So once Kim's playing again, I can get healed, and we're all fine. So that's fumble. All right. If you need any help with fumble, like if you get fumbled and you need help, look for the big older players who've been playing a long time. You can ask them to help you if you need to talk to somebody and explain the situation, what happened. They can usually help you out with talking to anybody in the game you need to. So the last thing you know is called hold. Hold is an ability, or it's not really an ability, it's a rule that has to do with when we need to pause the game for some reason. It's a safety rule. If you think about it like if you ever played any professional sports and the referee blows the whistle, that means stoppage of play. That's what a hold is. When a GM calls hold, it's like a referee has just blown the whistle and everyone's supposed to stop play. The only difference is you're not supposed to just stop and come to a stop and then stand and you're going to start it again. You're actually supposed to pause as if you've just hit pause on a movie, and everyone's supposed to try to be in the shapes they were. Because sometimes exactly where you're standing is really important to the storyline. So if I can get all of you guys to come in for a quick second. If we were in a battle and you are involved in a combat, and then I say hold, see, they all pause exactly like that. And then I say, okay, spell goes off right here. I need to measure it. I might measure out certain distances. Okay, you're in the spell, you're in the spell, you're in the spell. Okay, you all take 1 damage. Okay, you're all going to take 1 damage when I call game on. Game on! Boom, they all take 1 damage. And there's these 2 left, and they keep going. And then I might say, hold! Right, and then we can go on to something else. So that's how we do hold. So those are the basic five rules plus hold, which is a basic safety feature. All right, I think that's it.